Hi guys, and welcome to the second part of evaluating expressions. Here we're going to look at two slightly more complicated examples where instead of just having the kind of normal operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, we're going to look at an example with an exponent in it and a compound expression. So this first one, remember, we follow exactly the same kinds of steps. We want to look for what does our variable equals the first thing. So it says evaluate the expression when x equals 2. That means everywhere we see an x, we're going to plug in the 2, just the same way we would do if it was any of those other four operations. So here we've got an x as our base, so 2 is going to become our base, and then that exponent is just going to come down exactly as it is, as that 4 right there. So we have 2 to the 4th. Now right here, you want to be very careful, because the mistake that people make here is they say, oh, that's just 2 times 4, that's just 8. But that's not what this means. That doesn't mean multiplication, it doesn't mean to do 2 times 4, it means to do 2 times itself 4 times. So what that's actually going to turn into here is 2 times 2 times another 2 times one more 2. So now we have 4 2's here, all multiplied together. There are lots of different ways to go about this multiplication. To save a little bit of time, I like to kind of do 2 of them at a time. So this first 2 times 2 would give us a 4. The second 2 times 2 gives us another 4. And remember, of course, that these are still multiplied. And so our final answer would be 4 times 4, which is just 16. Alright, so that would be our final answer here. Now let's go over to the second example. Again, it's really going to be exactly the same concept, it's just a little bit longer. You might want to think about it as kind of the difference between reading single words and reading whole sentences. When we do examples where there's only one thing going on, like here where we have just an exponent or when we had just addition or whatever, then it's like reading just one word. When we have more than one thing going on, like in number 2 here, it's like reading a whole sentence. It's not actually harder to do, it just takes a little bit longer. So again, we're going to follow exactly the same steps and start by replacing our x's with 2's. So you know that there's going to be 1, 2 on top, draw ourselves a little line, 1, 2 on bottom, and then this 2 that's on top here, since it's multiplied times that 11, remember that's what it means when we see a number right next to a variable, we're going to have to put that in parentheses so that we don't accidentally end up just putting the 11 in front of it and getting 112, because that would be no good. So we're going to put our 11 in front of the 2 in parentheses, and then on top we also have the minus 1. And then on the bottom, this 2 is the first thing, and then we bring down our plus 5. So now we have 11 times 2 minus 1 and 2 plus 5. We always go, when we have more than one operation, we always go then to order of operations to figure out what to do next. So what we're going to do next here is we have multiplication, addition, and subtraction, and we're going to do that multiplication first. So 11 times 2 is just 22, and then everything else is going to stay exactly the same. So that minus 1 on top is going to stay the same, and on the bottom, that 2 plus 5 is also going to stay exactly the same. Now we can do addition and subtraction at the same time, because remember, even in order of operations, addition and subtraction are really the same thing. We don't always have to do addition first, so we're just going to evaluate the top and the bottom at the same time. So 22 minus 1 is going to give us 21, and 2 plus 5 is going to give us 7. Now we have just one more step to evaluate this last division here. 21 divided by 7 is going to give us 3, which is going to be our final answer.